Hey, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a problem that, let's be honest, probably haunts a lot of us, that giant graveyard of unfinished projects. We're going to skip the usual productivity hacks and get right to the science of why we start things with so much excitement, but so often just let them fade away. Let's get into it.
So, does this question hit a little too close to home? I mean, think about it. You've probably got a notebook filled with amazing ideas, a computer folder with a dozen half-written documents, maybe even some DIY project that's been sitting in a corner for months. It's obvious you don't have a shortage of creativity. So what gives? What's the disconnect? Why do so many brilliant beginnings just end up collecting dust?
You know, this whole experience is so common, it really deserves its own name, the finisher's dilemma. And if you're sitting there nodding along, I really want you to hear this. It's not just you. Seriously. This isn't some personal character flaw or a lack of talent. It's a really common psychological pattern that affects tons of people.
And that's the most important thing to get straight right now. We have to stop blaming ourselves, and we definitely have to stop blaming our ideas. The ideas are great. The real culprit is, well, it's a funny little quirk in how our brains are wired. A quirk that makes the thrill of starting something new feel way more rewarding than the actual hard work of getting through the middle.
Okay, so what is this psychological pattern? It's time for a diagnosis. The reason so many of us get stuck, the reason for all those unfinished projects, is something we can call the motivation trap. And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the problem. The motivation trap is basically an addiction to the feeling of starting something. You know that rush you get? A fresh start, a blank page, a brand new idea? It feels incredible. But the fatal flaw is that the feeling disappears. Fast. This chart just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got the high of potential. That's all dopamine. It's exciting, it feels easy, it's all about that dreamy question, what if? But then look at the right side. That's the grit of execution. That doesn't run on dopamine, it requires discipline. It can be hard, it's methodical, it's not about what if anymore, now it's about the nitty-gritty how-to. And our brains, they are wired to love the stuff on the left.
And this quote just nails it. That buzz you feel when you start something new isn't just a vague feeling. It's actual brain chemistry. It's a real dopamine hit. The problem, though, is that the dopamine fades the second the boring, unglamorous work starts. And that is the trap. We get caught in this loop, always chasing that initial high by just starting something new all over again.
Okay, so we've got the diagnosis. We understand the trap. Now what? Are we just doomed to be starters and never finishers? No, absolutely not. The answer, thankfully, isn't to just try harder or magically find more willpower. It's about building a better system. It's about harnessing the power of a plan.
And this right here, this is the huge mindset shift you've got to make. We always think, oh, if I just felt more motivated, I'd finish this. But you know what? Waiting to feel motivated is totally unreliable. The real fix is to stop waiting for motivation to strike and instead build a system that works even when you have zero motivation.
And that system has a fancy science-backed name, an implementation intention. But don't let the name fool you. It's actually incredibly simple. All it is a plan you make with your future self. You decide ahead of time exactly what you're going to do, which completely removes the need to make a decision in the moment. And that moment of decision, that's exactly where motivation usually dies.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's get practical. How do you actually create one of these powerful little plans for your own projects?
It really just boils down to this simple three-step formula. First, you have to get super specific with your goal. Not work on my book, but write 250 words. Second, you choose a trigger, a specific time and place that's going to kickstart the action. And third, you just put it all together in this simple if-then sentence. If this trigger happens, then I will do this action. And here's a perfect example. See how precise that is? It's not, I'll try to write a little on Monday. No. It is, if it is 9 a.m. on Monday morning, that is a non-negotiable trigger. Then I will write for 25 minutes on my project. That's the clear, defined action. So when 9 a.m. on Monday rolls around, there's no debate. The decision was already made days ago. All you have to do is show up and do it. Now, I know this might seem like a really small mental trick, but trust me, when you start applying this consistently, the long-term impact is, well, it's huge. We're moving beyond just finishing one single project here. We're talking about actually changing who you are. This is the journey from one single action to it becoming a core part of your identity. It all starts with this one tiny seed, that simple, fixed plan you made, just that one little if-then sentence.
Because when you follow that plan over and over again, something pretty amazing starts to happen. That action, which felt so hard at first, it starts to become automatic. It turns into a habit. And you're no longer burning through willpower, which we all know is a limited resource. You're just running on the habit you built.
And this is the real game changer. When those habits get locked in, they start to change how you see yourself. You're no longer just someone who tries to finish things. You actually become a finisher. It becomes who you are. And let me tell you, that sense of identity is way more powerful than any short-lived burst of motivation could ever be.
So let's bring this all back to you. Think about that one project you've got, the one that's been on the back burner, the one you were so excited about when you started. It's still there, and it's just waiting for you. And now you have the exact tool you need to finally see it through. So the only question left is the one right here on the screen. What's your plan going to be?